Hello, welcome guys. And we are on the third game on the concept of key squares. And the third game is played by Karpov White and Spassky Black in Leningrad 1974. It is a Sicilian game. And let's see the game. E4, C5, Knight F3, E6, and D4, CD4, Knight D4, Knight F6, and Knight C3, and d6 and bishop e2, bishop e7, then castles and knight f4, knight c6, and bishop e3, bishop d7, knight b3. At this point Karpov was leading the match, hence he logically chose a more positional line. By playing this move, white doesn't allow black to exchange knights and then place the bishop on c6, a5, a typical and fashionable move in those days. After white's next move, the black knight gets the b4 square. In return, the b5 square becomes weak. a4, knight b4, knight bishop f3, bishop c6, knight d4. After the knights leave c6, this is a good reaction. Black's knight will not be on b4 forever. It can be attacked with the c pawn. White has a pleasant choice between placing the knights on b5 and capturing the bishop and gaining the bishop pair advantage. g6. Here knight d7 to transfer the knight to c5 was more flexible and logical choice. This move has the idea to control the f4 square and prepare the move e5. White allows this by playing his patient and strong next move. The point is that black's plan is not good. Rook f2, e5. Knight takes c6. Karpov stays true to his style. He prefers a simpler solution, giving him a stable long-term advantage. Here knight db5 looks promising, although after d5 a very complicated and double-edged position arises. And now after b takes c6, here knight takes c6 is worse. After f5, white is ready to expand on the king side at the right moment. And more importantly, he controls all the important light squares. And his light square bishop has no opposition. The bishop will be placed on a2 g8 diagonal. fe5, de5. Here it looks like everything is okay for black. However, the experienced player, especially Karpov, may easily detect the disharmony in black's army. White's light square bishop seems neutralized and both the d and f files bring nothing to white. But this is only visual. Going a little deeper, it becomes apparent that black is in trouble. His pieces cannot find good squares. On the other hand, the white army will soon establish full control over the center and the entire board. The point is that the key c4 square will be under white's control. Always place a piece in front of the opponent's central pawn if it cannot be attacked. The c4 square can be used by the white queen, bishop and knight. From this square, all the white pieces will cause black many problems, attacking weak pawns and controlling weak squares. Karpov's next move is brilliant. Queen f1. After placing the queen on c4, the c6 and f7 pawns will be targeted. Queen c8, h3. The g4 square should be controlled. Knight d7, bishop g4. Here Karpov gives away his bishop pair for the knight. It is important that the c4 squares remain under the white's control. Meanwhile, black cannot use the c5 square. Uh, Here if instead queen c4 and black plays queen a6, and black will achieve a lot. He will inevitably move his bishop to c5, happily exchanging the bishops. Black will then have an excellent spot for the knight on c5, a very promising position. h5, bishop takes d7, queen takes d7, queen c4, bishop h4, rook d2, queen e7, rook f1, rook fd8, knight b1. This move looks primitive. The point is that it is multi-purpose. White is ready to attack the black knight by advancing his c pawn. The knight doesn't have a comfortable square to retreat to. Also, the white knight leaves the c3 square where it is paralyzed by the c6 pawn. Now it is ready to be transferred to either d2 and c4 or f3 depending on the situation. Karpov was a real master of such regroupings. It is highly recommended to analyze Karpov's games in order to improve your positional play. Queen b7, king h2. This is with the simple idea of playing g3, and after c3, rook takes d2, knight takes d2, and knight c2 look like a complication to Karpov, so he rejected it. So here after king g7, c3, knight a6. Here rook takes d2 was better. Rook e2. White keeps the rooks on the board. After attacking the black bishop, the rook will move to f2, creating terrible pressure on f7. Black is already hopeless. There are so many weaknesses on both flanks and complete disharmony in black camp. Rook f8, knight d2, and bishop d8, knight f3, f6. Black has managed to defend the f pawn, but now white strikes on the other side. The d8 square is occupied by the black bishop, and white immediately uses this to penetrate via the d5. Rook d2, bishop e7, queen e6, rook rook a d8, and after rook takes d8, bishop takes d8. If black has taken with his rook, then knight takes e5 is coming. So after rook d1, knight b8, bishop c5, rook h8, rook takes d8, and after rook takes d8, then bishop e7 is a convincing victory for Karpov. I hope you would have enjoyed this game, guys. It is a perfect example on the topic of important squares. Indeed, control over the important c4 square gave white excellent prospectus on both the flanks. Thank you all.